Our top story today, the foreign ministers of Greenland and Denmark have addressed the media shortly after the end of talks with US Vice President Vance and Secretary of State, their Foreign Minister, Rubio. The meeting follows Donald Trump's insistence that the US must annex the territory, a claim rejected by the Nordic leaders.
We want to step up, and hopefully that could also accommodate some of the president's concern. But it's not that I'm now, saying everything is solved. It's not solved. We did manage, but and honestly speaking, I didn't believe that was doable. We didn't manage to change the American position. It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom. There's a government in Greenland with support from 3/4 of the Greenlandic population. The premier made it very, very clear yesterday that Greenland, for the time being and for foreseeable future, will remain within the kingdom of Denmark.
Yeah, they described those discussions as productive and constructive, but as you heard there was clearly still a major difference of opinion. Let's get this analysis now from our correspondent on the ground, Mark Stone.
They tried to put a positive spin on it, but I don't think it's the case that they came away from that meeting with Trump's team thinking that everything was fine and that, in fact, it's all bluff and that behind the scenes maybe they're all a little bit more calm about what's going on. Absolutely not. It is clear, I think, that the public threat that we've seen coming out of the White House, coming out of President Trump's mouth and his social media accounts matches the private rhetoric that was clearly across the table at that meeting. We will agree to disagree for now, is how both foreign ministers here put it. But looking at their faces, those were very serious faces. They recognise that this threat from President Trump is serious indeed. And I think they are desperate to try and find a path through this, a path of compromise. But my sense, reading between the lines reading between the words that came out of their mouths just now, is that at the moment they don't have a clear idea quite what that compromise is. It's clear that they tried to, and this is difficult, we've seen different world leaders trying to come to America, come to the White House without wanting to be seen to school the American president, but at the same time, they don't believe the American president has a grasp of the facts. And that is the case here, because Donald Trump's view is that there are Russian and Chinese ships circling Greenland all the time. The reality is that that's not true. And so somehow these two leaders, these two foreign ministers, had to come here and remind the president's team that that's not true, but at the same time not upset him and also try and look for this path of compromise, which I think, should the Americans accept it, will be an increased troop presence in Greenland. As Foreign Minister Rasmussen said, there's always an element of truth in everything Donald Trump says, and it may well be the case that actually there needs to be an upping of the number of troops in Greenland, NATO troops, maybe even American troops forming the dominant part of that. But that doesn't mean you buy the island. That doesn't mean you acquire Greenland. Absolutely not, was the assessment that they were trying to put across. One last thought. I thought it was very interesting that Foreign Minister Rasmussen sought, I think quite intentionally, to be openly critical of the Biden administration. He said under the previous American administration, they didn't put enough security apparatus and security assets into Greenland. And we hope that now, under Trump, that will change. An attempt there, I think, to sort of flatter Trump and be on the same side as Trump often is in bashing Biden.